Welcome to Voices from the Hill. Today, we take a hopeful, forward looking conversation about how young adults can shape the future with faith, integrity, and courage. A future that may seem uncertain because of economics, politics, cultural shifts, even the church itself. But uncertainty does not cancel destiny. In fact, it opens the door for faith. I'm Reverend Roy V. Elliott Jr., and today we have Minister Paul Williams and Sister Mackenzie Williams joining us again as we take another look at how we can influence culture with love and what it looks like to grow in both our faith and our impact. Good evening again, and welcome to our Voices from the Hill. We are in our 6th episode, and we have another dynamic subject, and we're talking about the role of the church in the future. I think that's a question that many people want to know. Where will the church be in the future? We've seen where the church has been in the past. We know where the church is in the present, and then some are wondering what's going to happen to the church in the future. We have two great guests with us, Minister Paul Williams and Sister Mackenzie Williams, who come to share with us on this subject. And here's the great first question for us on today. The question is, what role should the church play as we look forward in the future? So we're going to yield back to the ladies first. All right, ladies first, and so then we'll go to Minister Paul Williams.
I feel like the role should be accountability, open arms, and I use those two, accountability and open arms.
Okay, accountability and open arms, and that goes to when we talked about church hurt, and we're taking accountability and acknowledging that the hurt is real.
Yes.
We talked about that, and then the accountability and the compassion that we ought to have one for another. And so what would you share with that?
So she really be taking my good answers. Like I said, just being more open, especially going into the future, because we're gonna have a lot of people that doesn't have the what can I say, the church etiquette that we're looking to see, that we're used to, but they're coming in to really get saved,
Right.
And so instead of having a closed mind about it, we need to be more open about what it is that's going on. We need to be a little more understanding.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That's enough. Open and understanding. Because like I say every time, we got to remember where we came from. Yeah, we might not be as bad as what one person is, or we may not be doing what this one person is doing, but we all had our flaws before we actually came all the way into Christ. And some still might have flaws in the midst of it, but we still have to understand where they come from and be open to their situation, so we can help. Because just like you say on my first sermon, our goal is to make disciples. It's the key term for it all. So yeah, I just feel like that's what open and understanding.
So we got to make sure that we shine light in the dark world. That's, and then we have to have the voice of truth during a time of confusion. You made a major statement now with people coming in that don't have the church etiquette, don't know the church lingo, if you want to call it. But the key thing is that they actually came.
Right.
And now here's the amazing thing. There are people who know the church etiquette. Right. Got the church lingo.
Right.
And then if we want to call it, we have the church closed.
Yeah.
And still don't come.
Yeah.
Right.
So now that understanding the compassion for those, because people are hurting.
Yeah.
And people are going through things, and they expect to be able to come into the church, and when they come into the church, to be able to find that compassion.
Right.
And then someone who can speak to where they are today to help them for their future. So that says to us that we're seeing in the future the church has to be more about community and less about building.
Ooh,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, when I say building, I'm talking about the brick and the mortar.
Yeah.
And so, because in reality, we actually saw that we were launched into that during the pandemic because everybody was forced to move away from the brick and the mortar. But we still had to find a way to connect. And so that at the end of the day, that's what was more important. Now we're happy to have somewhere to go. But it showed us that there will come a time that may be possibility, we never know, that some churches may not have anywhere to go. Things can happen, fires, pandemics, just things happen. And now we're struggling to try to find a space where we can still have community. And so the Lord has fixed it that way. And so then that shares with us that we shouldn't shrink back in tough times, but we got to learn how to shine brighter. Because when there's darkness, it doesn't take much light to shine, to lighten up a dark place. And so if we are God's children, then no matter where we go, we should be shining light. So now here's our second outline, B. How to influence culture with faith and love. And so that's the theme. Faith and love. But then here's the question: how can young adults influence culture without compromising their faith?
Oh man!
Right. How we gonna do that without compromising faith? Influencing culture.
I can't wait for this.
Okay. We going this way again? Okay.
No,
No, we'll stop. Okay.
No, we keeping it ladies
And
first.
I think you all have really been answering this over time, constantly been answering that question. So how will we influence culture without compromising faith?
I just feel like walking in the best way that you know how is the only way that we're gonna know how to really just that's the only way we can influence without actually compromising our faith. Because we still got to remember that we're not perfect.
Right.
We was only one perfect being that walked this earth, and that was Jesus. So once we can get we not perfect out of our head and still understand that we're human and we have human feelings and we have human emotions and we have human ways, but you can still do it and you can still walk in your faith. Yeah, it gets tempting, but you don't have to compromise it out. You don't have to be like okay, like I said, I work at a barbershop. So I'm in all aspects of the world. Everybody comes to the barbershop, all walks, but I don't get influenced by what the other people are doing at the barbershop, what the other people are doing that come and get my hair cut. Now I can still be right with them, talk the lingo with them, do everything with them, but I don't have to go to the extent that y'all go just to be what y'all looking for me to be. You know what I'm saying? I can just be myself regardless because I know who I serve and what I serve. Even before I was a preacher, I didn't do half the stuff there because I know what I'm doing and I know where I want to be. I'm not finna be that you know what I'm saying? And you don't have to be that person. So yeah, that's I just feel like you can just walk it regularly without having to just remember your human self is gonna be the best self that you can, because once you realize that I'm not perfect and I'm okay with that, I think that'll take the pressure off of actually being. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That because I know that'd be a lot. I know that'd be like, oh man, I'm in church and I can't have this look on me because people gonna look at me crazy if I can't go out, I can't do this, I can't do. But why can't you? You just got to know how to. Let me see what the word. You gotta know how to conduct yourself.
Okay, so what we're looking at now, we don't have to be famous to be an influence. Now here's the key thing: we got to be faithful though.
Yes.
See, the faithfulness is the key.
Yes.
And along with that will come persistency and will come love and will come presence. Now we've been talking about love this morning, so we have to put love in its proper place. And so when we put love in its proper place, then it will influence others.
Yes.
So here it is, and we've said this on many occasions, that people may not read the Bible, but they read us.
Hey, I just said that. I just said that not too long ago. If we were the only thing, we were the only Bible that people could read.
Right.
What would that say? You know, because that's important. Most people not gonna do it. Most people not gonna pick up that physical book and actually be like, okay, you know, this is what's no. They gonna look at.
So then it doesn't matter about the platform, because you come on back in with me. Come on back in. Sister McKenzie's back with us now.
Yeah.
So
Mama do this. Sorry, y'all.
That's all right. That's all right. So it's not about the platform.
It's not.
So it's about impact, because barbershop, beauty salon, gas station, sandwich shop, hospital. We just keep going on and on. No matter where we are, we take ourselves with us.
Yes,
We do.
And so we have to make sure that we have a major impact, and not being famous. That's what we were saying.
Okay.
But being faithful. That's the key thing, you know. Because we're saying, how can young adults influence culture without compromising their faith? And you think about that. Because you're gonna be who you are.
you're gonna be
You
Right.
are. To be honest, I feel like when you come how you are already to church and allow God to work through you, it'll work out how it needs to be working out.
Man.
My father-in-law always say God is smarter than us, and I believe that. And it didn't get thick in my skull until I started coming to church. And that's Sunday school, that's Bible study, and that's Sunday service. Any kind of activities and everything like that, you want to be around people that's gonna hold you accountable, but also understand that you're human. But when you come back to church, or when you come to church with your authentic self, he's not asking you, oh, I need you to change this first. I need you to stop this first. I need you to just come with your whole heart. Personality included, craziness, messed up this, the brokenness, all until you come all to church. So with that being said, when you come, let God do it. You don't have to do the fixing. This is not a fixed thing. We can't fix ourselves. We have to have God included in there to be able to mend those pieces. So if somebody do pull your coattail and be like, oh, well, you was just doing this, but I'm working on myself. I'm human. You know, I get that people that are not Christians or don't know who God is or are Christians will judge everyone else. But at the same time, if you're doing the work, you're trying, and you having that authentic relationship with God, he'll do the fixing. He'll stop the drinking. He'll stop the obsession of being around people or things that are tempting you. And, you know, it'll all work out in his favor. So, yeah, you're right. Over famous and, you know, we have to be faithful. If we be faithful and start coming and being organized and being structured on the word, you can't leave no wrong. Nobody can tell you that you're doing anything wrong.
Because when you really think about it, you know, he's not looking for how many likes and stuff you got on Instagram
At all.
No.
You know, like I say, the key thing to even, like I say, when I did my first sermon was to make disciples.
That's it.
It's not about nothing else. You know, it's not he didn't say, you know, I want y'all to go and get 1,500 likes on Facebook and say to go out and make the disciples that you know you can make, because like I say, just like you say, they're gonna read us before they read the Bible. See, we draw. See, we the ones that's gonna pull.
Right.
Like, oh, okay, well they cool. Like, so now when you look at the young adult standpoint, when you see young adults, most young adults, you know, I was impressed. I was shocked seeing the few young adults that I saw at the men's conference yesterday. Actually seeing young men that's willing to come in and really be faithful to God and really have outside talks about God and what God is doing in their life and what that influence right there start up a whole. So now I can still go out, but I'm gonna be me, and I'm gonna show you the light on what it is that I've seen. Because see, just that little piece of you, or just that little seed, because all it takes is a little plant of a mustard seed.
That's it.
That's what he say. The faith of a mustard seed, all you gotta do is just plant it. Once you plant it, all you gotta do is just watch it grow. it's gonna always work itself out.
So impact, influence, and faithfulness all go together, and all that's wrapped up with love.
Right.
It's wrapped up with
Authentic love.
Authentic
That don't change.
There you go. Nobody can change who you are.
At all.
So here's the last portion: setting personal goals for spiritual growth and social growth. Setting personal goals for spiritual growth and personal growth. That's the theme. Okay. But the question is, what are some practical steps young adults can take to grow spiritually and socially? Okay. All right, you looking this way, spiritually and socially. So steps. What are some steps?
Like I said, this is me for a personal experience. Coming to church, you don't have to be on time every Sunday, but as long as you try, it will work out to you being on time when you need to be on time. Wednesday Bible study, Sunday school. Sunday school is the best time for you to ask questions that you don't understand, and then also get a little realistic. You know, add the world in there, because some things about it is a lot of people in our generation, they go to voodoo, they go to Buddhism, they go to this chakra readings and the card readings and stuff. They go to these people thinking that, oh, well, I got this reading. They said every little tea about me, but the devil used your flaws, the stuff that you mess up in, to throw you off your tracks, to be in the cycle again, and get you thrown off from what God wants for you. And my thing is, you know, social, that right there, that's the main thing in our generation, that people go to outside source instead of inside source for the help and the guidance and the understanding and, you know, the opening up and not being judged or not being, you know, misleaded or misguided or misused, instead of, you know, outside source. Outside source will lead you straight. They'll leave you asking questions and coming back and fiending for information about the future or about healing and this. It's just, when you do the work as far as coming to church, it for some reason it changed your atmosphere. It changed you being organized. It changed, you know, you being more about God than being more about yourself. It changed the environment, because you need people around you in the church, and which church got to fix that too. You got to be open-minded to whoever come into the church. They have to be open-minded to that they still God's children. So the judging, you know, like I said, the misleading, the misguiding, the misinformation, and things like that. I just feel like if they go to church, Sunday school Bible study, Wednesday night Bible study, Sunday school, Sunday service, even little ministries throughout the church, talking to someone, have a Christian advisor or a mentor. So you, like, if you do have a temp or anything like that, you will be able to talk that through.
So you're telling us we got to keep our faith grounded. Yeah. And you said it, and she has been listening to you, because she was telling us that we got to start with prayer. We got to constantly. Those are your words. When we ended a couple of sessions, your thing was you want to start with prayer, and so then you said Bible study, and then finding those authentic relationships. Yes. And to keep that faith grounded, and then that accountability. And so all those things, those are steps for growth spiritually and socially. And because people are searching, as you said, outside, and a lot of times when you're searching outside, you almost want people to tell you something good about yourself. So, but when we're inside, or when we say inside, we come to places, these different ministries, the Bible study and various things. And when we're looking in the Bible, we not only see good things, but we see where we've fallen short.
Right.
You know, because if anyone does think they don't have a flaw, you look in the Bible, you find out you do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We're gonna find out that we all a work in progress.
Definitely.
And that's a beautiful, because that lets us know that none of us have arrived. Right. And when we know that, then we can keep striving to be better. Right. We ought to continuously want to get better and better. So I'm gonna yield to you. Sister McKenzie said a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she did. She did. So you say, bro, spiritually and socially.
And socially,
So You know I'm finna use my word.
Okay.
It's gonna be prayer.
Uh-huh.
I mean, look, prayer is a consistent thing that I'm gonna always say because it's gonna help you spiritually and it's also gonna help you socially.
Okay.
Socially, it's gonna help you because God is gonna give you a discernment about what's going on and what's around. That's gonna make that social stuff look a little more clearer to you. You know, we go into a lot of stuff not understanding fully or not trying to look at stuff fully or not trying to get a clear understanding of what it. But when you bathe that in prayer, really do it, and I'm talking about really go to God about, because it's gonna be the most healing thing for anybody. It's not even just young adults at this point.
Right.
This for little ones all the way up to seniors. It's prayer is gonna always be my key for everything. Going through the future, going through, because if you're not starting it with that, nothing else you do gonna fall in line. That's our cornerstone.
Okay.
See, that's our cornerstone piece. See, that's one of our foundational pieces is prayer. Because if you can't go to him in prayer to try to get a clear understanding, to actually go and talk to God to try to get something back from him, then what you doing?
So now we've heard prayer, we've heard faith. Talking about growing socially and spiritually, and the prayer, the Bible study. So that says that faith and action need to meet.
Ooh.
Because we can talk about prayer.
Right.
We can talk about Bible study. We can talk about relationship. We can talk about accountability. But then we got to take action on that.
We got to.
The faith without work is dead. So we have to actually take that step of faith toward what we're saying we're going to do.
All right.
Okay. All right. So here we go. The church has an unchanging mission in a changing time. Times has constantly changed. And you said it on one episode that everybody that we're around grew up differently.
Right.
We're in different generations. Different backgrounds. And so the thing that's constant, that change, time constantly changes.
They do. They don't wait on nobody.
But we got an unchanging gospel.
Right.
And so since we know the times change, and even the children say, well, their generation are prone to liking this. Our generation didn't like that.
Right.
Our generation went here. Their generation is going there.
Right.
And that generation will tell us, well, what you do is over.
Right.
Your generation say, what I do is over.
Right.
So it's gonna keep going. It's gonna say, somebody gonna say, well, that's old.
But see,
that's what y'all used to do.
But see, and that's why I say I'm guessing that the being open part is so important, because we have to be open on so many different levels of aspects, because just like you say, the little ones looking at something differently, way different than what we looking at. You know what I'm saying? We looking at it something different, way than what y'all looking at. Your generation looking at it way different than what the older generation, because everything evolves. But just like you say, it's still the same gospel. You just got to figure out how to place it for the time that we in, because it speaks through generations after generation after generation. It never changes. It's been the same Bible since my grandma was, and it ain't never been the same, but how they had to present it and how they had to preach it back in the day and how they had to teach it back in the day, it's gonna be a little different for how you gotta teach it now and how you gotta, that's period. Even in school life, teachers gotta go into a new way to teach these kids now versus when we and Mackenzie was in school. Then I'm sure it was different from when me and Mackenzie when you was in school.
Math is different now.
Math ain't even math no more.
It's totally different. You know, when I was in school, you know, you learned your timetables, you could recite them. Now, the way you work a problem back then is not the way you work a problem now. And so the kids, you know, the parents can't hardly help the children with the homework now. So things are changing, right? But so again, the church's mission does not change. We are still not only to make disciples, we're not only to teach, but throughout the time, we got to continue to love one another. Right. That stays the same. So then young adults can influence culture by being faithful and loving where they are. That's the key thing. where we are.
Yep.
No matter what time frame we're in, love has to keep going.
Love.
So here we go. Going to wrap this up. What is one word of encouragement you give young adults who are worried about the future? Because every generation is worried about the future. You know, you get to a certain age and you start wondering, okay, what am I going to be doing? Where are we going to be at this time? You know, and they say, what about where's the church? What word would you give to encourage young adults when we look at the future of the church?
It's more than a word. I say this. I'm gonna say this. It's gonna be a speech. I feel like that when I'm trying to figure out how to say it in terms that people will understand it and not be offended. When it comes to being in that moment and having that moment with God, so the stuff that we go through, we get free will. God give us free will every day. The stuff that we choose to deal with, He makes a way out of no way regardless. So regardless if it's right in your eyes and wrong with somebody else's eyes, He's always going to make a way out of it.
Yeah.
Thinking about the future will cause anxiety, depression, separation from what really is going on in the present time, displacement of emotions, and everything like that. So worrying about the future, you can look forward to the future, but don't be too focused on the future to where what God has planned for you presently, for you to learn different lessons, different situations and different things as far as you to grow from where you are now. You have to pay attention to those. You have to remember where you were before you got to this present time. So the past, you can think about that too, but as far as you came to where you are now, the present time is a special time for you to understand how good God is. His grace and mercy overalls everything. So yes, you can look forward to the future. You can focus on that, but don't focus too much that you miss what the gift is presently.
Okay, that's good. And you said anxiety, depression, worrying about what the future holds.
Right.
But here is the key to it. If we remember that God holds the future.
Right.
Because in anything, that's not just the church. We can have anxiety and depression about what's going to happen in life,
period,
in our families, and we're worrying within ourselves, but not thinking in the moment. Wait a minute, God been in control a long time.
I'm trying to tell you.
And so, since we know He's in control, then that should release some of our anxiety and the depression, because we remember who's in control of everything.
Everything at every moment.
And every moment. Now that's it. Every moment. That's every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every week,
and every month, every year.
That helps us.
Yeah.
Okay, God got this. It may not look right now. It may not seem right, but God got this.
Okay.
All right. Okay. What would you say? What would you say to the young adults?
And then we're gonna keep it going right off what y'all say. I'm gonna keep it with my phrase. Pray, but then watch it. Let go and let God. That's a good song.
That's a good song.
I love that song. Let go and let God. If you can really truly let it go and let God have it, man,
that's perfect.
Woo. So that tells us that we need to walk by faith and not by fear. That's what we've been saying.
There you go.
We can be trying to move forward, but fear will cause us to be stagnated, held back, cause us to be stuck in the mud because we fear of the unknown.
Stopping your actions, stopping your faithfulness, stopping everything because you so worried and so scared of just going on with what it is. It's like you said earlier, it's action time now.
It is.
It's time to stop the talk, because if you truly say that you love God and you truly say you give me your all to God, and you truly say, why is it so hard for you to go and create the action?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it hard for you to create the action? The action is there. You just got to go and do it. So how do you do that action? Let go and let God. He gonna be the one to work it out. He gonna be the one to solve all the problems and everything that's gonna be, and you gonna be good.
Well, you know, today I believe it was in the sermon where he talked about not waiting for the perfect conditions to pray.
Yes,
You know, we try to wait for the perfect time to do certain things.
but it ain't no perfect condition.
Mm-hmm. So if there is no perfect condition, then we have to shine where we are. You know that?
We gotta shine where we are.
Now here's the beauty of this, and we'll wrap it up with this. The amazing thing, I've always been amazed to see grass grow or flowers grow in a crack of concrete. So that condition is not perfect, doesn't seem conducive. But if there's any little crack, that means there's some kind of flaw.
There's some kind of flaw.
That still God's creation could come through it.
Right.
So with us, we don't wait to the perfect conditions
At all.
We don't walk by fear, but we walk by faith.
Right.
And we make sure that we remember that God's in control.
Yes.
And that's what we're talking about. This
Yes.
episode 6. Where do we go from here? Remember that God is in control and He holds tomorrow. And when we can believe that and remember that, we can walk by faith and not by sight. Thank you for joining us. Thank you all for being with us on the 6th episode.
Sixth episode.
Where do we go from here?
Yes.